Hello, everyone. Hi, and welcome to Dsdapp webinar. My name is Diogo Alves. I'm a dentist from Brazil, and I want to welcome everyone, dentists, hygienists, dental assistants, lab technicians. We have a great group here today. So we're gonna wait a few minutes, for people to sign up, to filling out the registering. On your right side, you'll be able to see the chat, so you can communicate with me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Hello from Sydney. We have people from all over the world, from many backgrounds. We are very happy to be here and very thankful that you're taking your time to learn more about Dsdapp. So if you have any questions, just please go in the chat box. You can write your questions. I'll be gladly answer at the end of the presentation. So don't hesitate to make any questions that you like. If during time frame we cannot answer all the questions, I'll be gladly to answer you privately through an email. So don't worry, you can be free to ask any questions. Nice, we have people from all over the world, which is amazing. Great people here today. So we're gonna just wait a few more minutes. I wanna send you the case report. Let me send you the case report that we're going to be talking about today. So here's the link. Right on the right corner on the chat box, I just sent you the link. That's the link that we're gonna be talking about today. A great case report made by great Brazilian dentists with master's degrees, amazing experienced doctors. You will love it. You'll love how they integrate Dsdapp with a real treatment plan case. So once again, we are glad that you are taking your time to learn more about how to better communicate with your patient and your team members. Because, at the end of the day, your patients are the most important people in your office. And always remember that when they see that you know how to communicate with them, they create an emotional connection with the treatment planning, and they start to see you in your office as a life changer. That's part of the magic of Digital Smile Design and Digital Smile Design app. So your patient don't have to imagine anymore. Now they can see how their treatment will look like even before we start doing any real procedure in a patient. So I want to thank, absolutely, we have to thank our Dr. Christian Coachman. He is the GST founder. He brought up back in 2009, 2008, he brought this whole concept of going digital. And 2017, we have Mr. Rolf George, this master of artificial intelligence, brilliant guy who helped us how to go digital. We all know that before it was so hard to become digital into dentistry, and now with the connection and partnership with Dr. Christian Coachman and Rolf George, we now have the chance to have Dsdapp as a great tool to better communicate with people, communicate with your patient, and deliver predictable results to your patients. So I just want to give you a reminder that this webinar will be recorded, so you will be able to watch it all over again. So I want to give a special thanks to Dr. Alisson Rezende. He's an orthodontic implantologist and prosthesis specialist. He's a Invisalign Digital Smile Design certified speaker. Dr. Felipe Miguel Saliba, he is also a great master. He has a master in dentistry from the State University of Rio de Janeiro. He's a scientific director of the Brazilian Institute of Modern Dentistry and is a professor of this great Unigran Rio, which is a dental school in Rio and also a GST instructor. So this is the case that we are going to be talking about today. So the use of Dsdapp as a treatment planning tool on veneers. This case was designed by me in the Dsdapp. So let's get started. So here you see this, she's a 30-year-old woman. She came to Dr. Allison's office, which is a DST clinic, and it's in Brazil. And she was complaining about her dissatisfaction with the harmony of her smile and a posterior cross bite. We know that on a regular posterior cross bite, the convex buccal axial wall of the non-functional maxillary cusps protects the patient from tissue trauma. And in her case, this posterior cross bite could lead into a tick bite and tissue trauma. So the treatment planning was to correct the posterior cross bite and to slightly shift the middle third of incisal third of the anterior teeth to the posterior right side of the patient. So it will give her a more harmonic and facially driven smile. So I want to show you, just give me 1 second, I'll swap into my iPad, and I want to show you how to do a smile design, a 2D smile design. And you see that it's very simple. So after we took, the X-rays, and did the clinical clean check on her, we didn't notice that she didn't need to do any root canals or any other procedures. So we wanted her to be one of the co-designers of her own smile. So on her first visit, we gave her a chance to see how her smile would look like just by giving a simple smile simulation. So I will share my screen with you, and then you'll be able to see how simple a simple smile simulation could be. So you go into your app, you go into My Patients. She's already a patient of mine. You go to New Project. Always make sure that before you do anything, you start with the patient documentation. So you document the patient, so you can always have all the patient's documentation in the app. And then you can do anything. You can do smile simulation, you can do 3D design. In this case, we will start with smile simulation. Here, it's asking me if I want to use the patient documentation's files. I say yes. So now it's downloading the files. So for a simple smile simulation, we only need a frontal facial smile with the patient smiling, and the mouth should be slightly open. So the first thing we have to do is to adjust the midline. As we noticed, her midline slightly shifts to her left side. So just go, put it on the mid-side, in the midline of the face. Your artificial intelligence will do everything for you. It will calibrate automatically for you. But as we are dentists, we can also do it manually, because we don't want we want you to participate in the whole process as well. Okay, so here you can see that with her facial flow, her right side, the patient's right side, is the more dominant side. We can tell that because when the face turns red, that's when it tells us that the most dominant part of the face is that side. Next, we mark the reference lines. So you see the vertical line that I'm moving right now? So you tap to the right distal line and position it between the right central and lateral incisor. And you do the same thing to the other side. You have to move the incisor line down to the upper incise edge of the patient's mouth. Now, you get these targets right here, and we recommend to measure in the patient's mouth the distance between the distal side of her central to the other distal side of the central. And the best area is in the middle third of the central incisors. This patient had a total of 17.4 millimeters. You hit next. Now we are going to set up the reference lines. So symmetry is automatically on, but you can turn this on and off. And adjust the left and right side independently too, if you like. So here you can adjust the proportions, the positions, going to the right and to the left. And here you can be the creator, and you can have the patient to be the co-designer if that's what you like. Okay, now we have the smile donators. With the smile donators, you can select shapes. So Dsdapp offers 2 teeth library. One is John Hatso, that contains like many mixed teeth, and the other one is the DSD library, and they are all natural shapes provided by the people that we meet around the world. So if you click on the person's name, you see who donated. So in this case, let me select the F7. You can click on the bottom, on the last tooth, as you see. Since it doesn't show there, you can always erase that tooth. So you see on your bottom to the left, you can click delete. So you can delete the teeth that you're not going to use. So on this position commands, you can bring them up, select the tooth, you can bring them up, you can bring them down to one side, to the other. You can click advance. And then with advance, you can do the fine tunes of one only shape of tooth. All right, so then next, you have to mark the lip. So you have to adjust the targets to mark the lip as closely as possible to ensure that the new teeth that you just created are not superimposed the lips. So it has to be on the borderline of the dry, wet upper lip. You hit next. Here you can select the color of the patient tooth. We have many different colors. And again, this is an emotional engagement with the patient. So you don't have to be 100% accurate with this simple smile simulation. It's just for the patient to have a better idea on how her new smile will look like. So here we have the blur. You can make it more blur, less blur. You can change the brightness of the teeth, the warmth, and the opacity. So you see how different it now will look, especially there where she has the posterior crossbite. You can turn the group off and then turn the link on right and left on. You click on one tooth, and then you can change the color of the posterior tooth. So when you click the link right and left on, everything that you do on one side will also be done on the other side. So it gives a better illusion on this 2D smile design to look like the new smile is within the mouth of the patient, creating this buccal corridor. You can go to gum layer, and you can add gum layer. Here's the opacity of the gum, saturation. You can make it smaller, you can make it larger, bigger, thinner. And then next, you have the stamp tool. This is a very nice tool that we have. So here, everything that is like sticking out, so you see this dentin right here. You press copy. You select the dark spot. You press paste. And you can tap, so it will disappear. So we have here on this side as well. So you select a dark spot, paste, and now it looks beautiful. So you finalize. You have the before and after. And if the patient is not there, you can share, you can send it to her email. If you have the patient's consent, you can share on social media. You can add your logo. You can add your signature, a signature of your office. You can do the bleaching, so the lower teeth matches with the upper teeth, with the new smile. And that gives a very natural smile, so the patient gets involved. And there we go. So since she was going to do, okay, let me turn this camera on. So since she was going to do a Invisalign procedure, we want to have our Dsdapp treatment planning, pre-treatment planning, to be a document to share with Invisalign aligners, so they would understand the type of smile that we would like to have at the end of those trays that she would have for Invisalign. So for here, I will show you now how we did the 3D design. We're downloading. So we want to make sure that the patient also sees it in her mouth, so she gets the emotional connection with her own case. And in this case, it was very simple. We used only one frontal facial picture and one upper IO scan, intraoral scan. All right, so just downloading. All right, so for in order to get the 3D smile, here is where you really have to pay attention. The first one that I showed was to motivate the patient, so the patient would understand how her smile would look like. When you want to do a 3D case, then you have to understand that you have to be very careful and to make sure that everything that you do matches. The STL matches with the new smile, that matches with the picture of the patient. So here we have the artificial intelligence here once again, showing her facial flow. So here on IO scan, we have to superimpose the STL over the smile of the patient in the picture. If you look on your upper right side, that is this 2x. You can click on that, and then you have a better vision. So now you can get better details. You can use that vertical line to be the distal and the left as well. You can use the incisal line, all that to be a guideline, so you superimpose the STL properly. On your lower right, you can see if the STL is really superimposing. So as we said, her measurements was 17.6. So now it's a mix up from 2D to 3D. It's like we are going from 2D to 3D. So now here we are going to calibrate the occlusal from the occlusal view. As you see, I cannot move these vertical lines anymore because I set them on the previous page. But I can still move the incisal line. You can rotate the STL upwards, downwards. You can move it to one side, to the other side. You just want to make sure that the distal of the centrals are within the vertical right and left distal line. Once you calibrate the occlusal view, you click here on Occlusal Curve. So the goal of this screen is to mark the current occlusal curve. So you get these targets. The one in the middle, you put right in between the midline, the central midline. The ones on the side, you put them on the tip of the canine cusp. And since we are going to do a treatment from second premolar to second premolar, you can bring it up to the adjacent tooth, which here is the first molar. And always make this U shape. If the person is shoe asymmetrical, you can turn the symmetric curve on or off. So now we are going to do the same thing that we did before, right? So you get this Meyer frame, you select this Meyer donator, you can do the mix shapes if you like, and then you adjust shapes, just as you did before, but now with more details. After you do the new design, the new Meyer design that is superimposing the STL and the picture of the patient, you then hit next. You will now mark the lip. Under controls, you can select the colors, you can adjust the colors, you can adjust gum layer, you can use the stamp tool just as we learned before. You finalize, you have the before and after. And now we go to our 3D smile design. So now you will be able to see 4 different screens. On your top left, you see a frontal view with a 3D frontal facial only. On your top right is just the STL on a 12 o'clock position. On your bottom left, you see the occlusal view with the occlusal curve that you created. And the bottom right, you can move it to the right, to the left. You select the color. Let's do this one, just to differentiate from the real 3D teeth that we are going to create. Then you hit design. So when you hit design, you will see all the new teeth that you set before, that you chose before, all in this page. So now what you have to do is to make sure that all the teeth are within this Maya frame, so you can create the motivational mock-up. So I'm going to show you. Here, this is the bottom right. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. So let's see this guy over here, this canine. So on the comments on the bottom, you'll be able to position them to the right, to the left, to more apical palatine buccal. You can rotate them, you can tilt them, and you can change their sizes. Usually for size, I use this one, this last one that is flashing right now. So this way the whole tooth grows from all directions. So here I go distal, I go apical, and now it's like parking a car. You have to go like a little left, a little right, just until the new teeth fits this Maya design that you created on your top left. You can bring it out a little bit. So since we are shifting her midline a little bit to the other side, then a little bit of her real tooth will be showing up on this side. And the same thing we have here on the canines. So you can place it buccally. You can rotate. And we get this second premolar. And you see it's pretty simple. You now can become the Dsdapp technician. And you can add it, you can do it the way that you like. So you see these spots right here, don't worry about it right now. We are gonna go to the next step, and on the next step, we will do the digital waxing. So I'll show you like each screen right now, so you guys can see. On your top right, there is three arrows. You click here, you can take the frame off, take the shapes off, and you see, I know it's not perfect yet, but it will be. Because right now we're just positioning the teeth within the frame. Here's in a 12 o'clock view. And here's an occlusal view. You see now that we're shifting the new smile to one side now. Here, if you use your two fingers, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can rotate. On the next, let's say that the patient does not like, in the end of the day, one side side or the other, or she changed her mind and she wanted a more rounded canine or anything that she likes. Instead of redoing the whole project all over again, you can come to Mix 3D, you can select the tooth, and you can change the shape of the tooth if you like. So you don't have to go back all the way anymore. All right, so now the app is combining all the work that we have done. Here we have the 2D, here we have the 3D. We just want to, this is, you don't show this to the patient. That's for us to see if this smile is matching the 2D smile. When you hit next, it will ask you, do you want to save or you want to continue with the sculpt? You click on continue. And here is the fun part. Here's where you can start to do the 3D waxing, just like the waxing that we used to do back in 2009, 2010, 2011. Now you can do it digitally. So on your right side, you will see brush, smooth, move, negative. When it's on, you are removing the waxing. When it's off, you are adding digital waxing. If you make a mistake, press undo. Here is the size of your stamp tool, and intensity, how much waxing are you adding? And the last button is the opacity of the STL. So you can make it transparent or not. So as you see here, we need to add some more digital waxing. So come here, you can do a smoothing. You click on negative, it's a little too much here. You can turn it, you can smooth it out. When you're doing the digital waxing, make sure that you're not touching the STL. Otherwise, you will be adding or removing the original file, the waxing of the original file of the STL. So you want to do only the new smile that you created. So I'm adding more here. You can smooth it out. You can zoom out. Oops. Come here. One thing that I do is to turn the STL all the way like this so I can add it more into the surface that I want. Okay, smooth it out a little bit. So if you notice, here, let me just take this out. Just gonna smooth out this a little bit. There we go. So if you notice, the central incisors are not matching the gum line of the patient, but that's intentional because we want to show her how her new smile will look like now with the midline matching the facial midline. And if you look on her left side, you will see that now the posterior crossbite is not there anymore. So for the emotional mock-up, we always recommend to remove everything that is on the occlusal side. So when you create your emotional mock-up, the patient doesn't bite over this extra waxing that we created. So we don't want to have anything on the occlusal. There we go. All right, so once you're done, you can either export it to your own printer, you can export it to your lab, you can export it to Dsdapp Planning Center, and then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get an STL with the new smile design that you created for the patient. You can also, just go back here, there is this button right here. And this button gives you the shell. So the shell is just a shallow structure of the new teeth that you just bonded on top of the patient's mouth so they can see how their new smile will look like. So you don't have to do it with bisacryl, for example. So it is totally normal when we do the shells. The app has to process for a few moments in order to erase all the STL and just have the shallow shells so you can print it. Once you finish, then you can export it, your STL file. There we go. So once you finish, so here you go. That's the STL, that's the shells. So you can print just the shells. You can export it to any software that prints STL, OBJ. Once you finish, you can hit save or export STL. Always save it on the cloud, because when we have to do an update in our app, if you save it on a tablet, everything will be lost. So make sure that you save it on the cloud. So you save it on the cloud, They will ask you if you want to go back to the same case management, or if you want to start a new case, which is a new case with another patient. And then I'm just going to click now on Export XTL. And then it will take from one of your packages from the cases that you bought. And then here it asks you, do you want to do a mock-up, all teeth, composite veneers, or all files? Usually I do all files. So you can have it all. You don't have to go back there. And then you will get a zip file, and then you can send it to whoever you like. And now I'm going to show you how her smile looked like with the mock-up. All right, so that's the mock-up that we created for her. The patient loved it. She now understands the process. She's definitely involved with the case, and you can take great pictures, and that will promote your office, your company as well. And all that, you can do it your own. And if you teach your assistant to do it, if you teach your hygienist to do it, if you teach your team members to do it, they can do it, and then you just do the final adjusts, with the digital waxing. It looks beautiful. So next, what we did was we sent all the documentation, the Invisalign documentation protocol, plus our own documentation as well. And we sent it to Invisalign so they could have an idea on how the new smile would look like after we finished the treatment of Invisalign. So she did 28 trays, Invisalign trays. So we corrected her crossbite. Now, all teeth are in the right position, so we don't have to over prep the teeth anymore. So, we always go for minimally invasive treatment. She's 30 years old, so she needs to get a treatment like that. She would thank you for that, for sure. And here is the final results. We did a aesthetic veneers, minimally invasive, from second premolar to second premolar of the other side. I'm just going to make it bigger for you guys so you guys can see. And that's her finals. She looks amazing. She looks happy. She looks younger. She doesn't have a crossbite. If you notice, her teeth is very it's matching with her facial flow. Very natural. All right, so it looks beautiful. So I want to, let me just go here now. So guys, I hope you guys understood the flow of going digital, of making the patient to be involved with their own case. By starting with a smile simulation, you can do that on your first visit, so the patient already understands what's in your mind, because I know like we learned a lot in dental school, and then sometimes we just don't know how to express it to the patient, or sometimes the patient just doesn't understand. So by showing them how their smile will look like, it makes them feel engaged and then make them go to the next step. So because she had a posterior crossbite, we wanted to make sure that she could do a 3D mock-up so she could actually feel comfortable with the new smile even before she invested her money into a Invisalign treatment and porcelain veneers. We did it. She loved it. We did 28 cases of Invisalign. We did minimally prepped, minimally invasive preparation for the porcelain veneers. The entire case was sent to, after prepping, it was sent to Dsdapp Planning Center, where they could create and replicate the new smile of the patient using the same smile donator that we created back in the day with her when we first started. So now she has the exactly same smile that we created on Dsdapp now in her mouth, now for her to be happy and be beautiful, as you guys can see. Well, yes, I mean, she had to do some retainers after, as she has a posterior crossbite, we didn't want the teeth to move around. So what I want to do is to send you guys, I don't know, for those who are not part of Dsdapp yet, I want to send you a 14 days trial. So you get all the access as a gold member during these 14 days. You get a one-on-one personalized consultation. So they will guide you and they will show you how exactly you should use your Dsdapp. You can get access to all the webinars, all of our tutorials. We have a DSD training within the app that our gold members use it. So I want you to try it out and see for yourself how great it could be. Once you start using it, I would ask you to first start with smile simulation. It's just like going to dental school. You cannot do a apsectomy before you start doing a single root canal, right? So let's start with smile simulation, take the pictures of the patient, start practicing. We have the one-on-one session. We can help you out. We have dentists in the office that can help you how to create beautiful natural smiles. And for those who are already our members, we are having our 4-day courses here in Miami in November. You will learn everything from patient documentation. You will learn how to take pictures. You will learn how to do smile simulation. You learn how to do 3D design, how to export, how to print it. You learn how to place it in the patient's mouth, and you learn how to present that to the patient. There is a great tool within the app where you can add the pictures and the entire process of your design, and there you can add music, you can add some quotes and give it as a gift to the patient so they understand that you took your time to give them the best outcome as possible. So now I'm going to answer a few questions. So let me see, Tony. So they are milled. They are milled veneers. So the veneers, so the whole case after we finished the Invisalign treatment, then we did the minimally invasive preparation. We re-scanned the patient, and then we got that new scan with the Dsdapp 3D design, sent it to Planning Center, and once they send it to Planning Center, they recreate all the veneers according to our smile donators structure. Yes, I will be in Madrid next month for the residency, and whoever will be there, Sami, I know you'll be there. I will be there as well. You can definitely talk to me. I'll be glad to answer you all the questions that you have. So we have right now we have GST courses. If you're not from the US, we have courses from in many parts of the world. Um, we can send you. I think I have your emails. We can send you also, the courses that we have from different places. So you see if it's next to your country, maybe you cannot come here. You can take those 2-day courses that are being held now all over the world. I am prep. I'm preparing a online course as well. It's an online 6-module course where you can learn, you can do your homework, and I will be correcting and make it more beautiful, send it back to you, and you can learn a 101 session with me so you can master and become a certified smile designer as well. So I hope you guys understood the process. Now we are all going digital. Dentistry is digital. The patient needs to understand how the treatment will look like by seeing it. And thank God, now we have Dsdapp, we have DSD that helps us how to become better dentists and better communicators. Thank you guys very much. I hope you are having a great day today, and I hope you try the 14 days trial. For those who are members, sign up for your 101 session. Our dentist and our technical support will be more than happy to help you. Thank you very much, guys.